Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to discuss the idea of short-run selfishness and why that is an illegitimate concept. So for a little bit of context, objectivists say that selfishness is a virtue, and as an objectivist I would agree with this. I would say selfishness is a virtue. You should act always in your self-interest. So then people often respond to this by saying, well, then why not just snort a line of cocaine? That feels really good. That seems like it's in your self-interest. Or why not steal from somebody? That seems like it's in your self-interest. Ultimately, neither of these things are in your self-interest, because snorting a line of cocaine, you're going to feel like shit the next day and whenever you're not high, and you're going to be addicted for the rest of your life. And then when you steal from somebody, you'll have to lie about it, and people and if you tell the truth, people won't want to interact with you in the future, which is not in your self-interest. And if you lie about it, you are lying. You're living a lie. You're creating a separate reality that you're trying to live in, and it is ultimately damaging to your mind to do so. And ultimately, stealing affects your self-esteem as well, since you are implicitly saying that, oh, I can't live for myself. I can't earn what I make. I have to go out and steal it. So these are ultimately negative things for your self-interest. It's not actually in your self-interest. So then people will often combat this by saying, oh, but it's in your short-run self-interest. If you do this now, it's going to feel good right now, but in the future it won't. It will feel bad. This is an illegitimate concept. It's ultimately package dealing the idea of self-interest to make the claim that self-interest is not something that's necessarily is not something that's necessarily virtuous. However, the objectivist claim is that self-interest is virtuous. So then when people package deal with this idea of short-run self-interest, they ultimately are attempting to invalidate the concept of self-interest. So, short-run self-interest, what's wrong with this concept? Well, the basic idea is that your life is a long-run thing. What is in your self-interest is a long-run thing, because your self-interest is what's good for your life. And if your life is a long-run thing, your life stretches out throughout all the years of your life, which is a very, very long-run thing. So your short-run self-interest, just this idea that, oh, right now it's going to feel good, but tomorrow it's going to, and for the rest of my life it's going to hurt, that's not in your self-interest. It's not a valid distinction to make. You're combining two concepts that don't make any sense together, the idea of short-run and self-interest. Because self-interest is necessarily long-run, since your life is a long-run thing, and self-interest is referring to what is good for your life. So ultimately, self-interest is a long-run thing, and it's illegitimate to claim that short-run self-interest is a legitimate concept. The same concept applies to the idea of rational self-interest versus irrational self-interest. Acting irrationally is not in your self-interest. And objectivists are often forced to qualify the idea of self-interest with the idea of rational, because obviously everything that objectivists promote is the idea of rational. Because rationality is man's means of survival, and acting in your self-interest requires rationality. So people also come back with this concept of irrational self-interest, the idea that you act based on your feelings for what you feel is in your best interest. This is not self-interest. It's an illegitimate concept that once again is attempting to package deal the legitimate idea of self-interest with the idea of irrationality, which is how self-interest is often portrayed with the idea of lying, stealing, and cheating. But that's not in your self-interest. Acting irrationally is not in your self-interest. So, ultimately, the idea of self-interest stands alone without the idea of long-run or rational, because self-interest is necessarily long-run and rational. Alright, thank you guys for watching. That's all I have to say for today, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace.